Sooner, everybody. My name's Harry James. You guys know me. We made it. One final preview to do for Oklahoma Sooner football before the season gets started. So, who do we preview today? There's only one Oklahoma, baby. Only one decision to make there. We got the OU football 2022 preview up right now. Let's get it going. Booby! Back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James. The Oklahoma Sooners and their Sooner Schooner reside in Norman, Oklahoma. More specifically, Owen Field at Memorial Stadium there in Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooner Schooner and Company coming off of an 11-2 overall year, 7-2 in league play, finished tied for second in the conference with Baylor at the 7-2 overall record. Baylor beat Oklahoma in the regular meeting, earning them the right to go ahead of Oklahoma to Arlington in the Big 12 championship game. But their season was not over after losing to Baylor and Oklahoma State. In fact, they got to go bowling and they went to the Alamo Bowl and took care of some Oregon Ducks for Bob Stoops' final bowl win. And it was a 47-32 bowl win, by the way, over the Ducks. After they got done with the Quack Pack, it is officially time to get the Brent Venables reign started. He's the new coach at Oklahoma. He's a graduate of Kansas State. Took care of Kansas State there and graduated in 1992. Coaching history, well, there is no coaching history for Brent. This is his first stop in his head coaching trek. Earned this spot at Oklahoma in 2022. All right, just like Oklahoma, just like Brent is new to the head coach at Oklahoma, there are all sorts of new players that did not play last year for the Sooners, but are in this year. In fact, passing, rushing, receiving, and defense, and even special teams. There's one person on each side of these that's basically new to the program or hasn't played for Oklahoma at all. The only exception is the kicker, but that's Zach Schmidt. We'll talk about that Schmidt here in a second. First, quarterback. Number 8, Dylan Gabriel comes to lead the Sooner Schooner Ponies down the field after leading the UCF, that's University of Central Florida, Knights on a record-setting trek. In 2020, which is the COVID year, Dylan still passed for 3,570 yards to go with 32 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. His longest completion that year, 93 yards. Of course, that's because last year, during the 2021 year, he had a season-ending injury about the third game into the season. That's passing. The leading rusher in for the Sooners, reporting in, well, what about a guy that's done it before, at least here at Oklahoma, and that would be Eric Gray. Eric Gray, wears number 0 for Oklahoma. Gray last year on 78 carries, rushed the ball for 412 yards, and 2 TDs, 2 touchdowns, that is. A long run of 48 yards for Gray. Then we get to the new guy. The new guy, Bentavious Thompson, graduate from, is a transfer from Central Florida, has helped Gabriel in 2020 with the COVID year. Did not participate in football at all last year. In fact, was pulled himself from the team. But in 2020, which was the official last time he took a carry, what about 73 total carries on attempts, I should say, 382 yards on the ground, 5 TDs for him, and a long run, 32 yards. Of course, all of that came from his time at UCF. Wide receivers that had good years last year and look to have a good year this year and help the Sooners. There is a newbie here also, as we already talked about. Newbie, we'll talk about him right out of the gate. Last year for Arizona State, LV Buckley Shelton had 33 total catches last year to go with 418 yards through the air, 2 TDs, and a long pass reception, I should say, of 59 yards. Of course, the other leading receiver, we all know this guy. Marvelous! That's Marvin Mims. Mims, 32 receptions last year to go for 705 receiving yards, 5 buckles, 5 touchdowns, and a 67-yard long reception last year for the Sooners of Oklahoma. Now it's all about some defense. Let's talk about some defense. And the newcomer to the defense, we'll talk about that one right away. He's a transfer from Wyoming. That's number 2, C.J. Colden, as defensive back corner from Wyoming University, where at Wyoming, Colden had 67 total tackles last year combined, to go with a 4th fumble, 0 fumbles recovered, 0 picks from a DB spot. They do have a leading tackler the other way, though. The second leading tackler on the team from last year, which would have been from last year, that's number 6. That's number 23, and that's Deshaun White. D-Dubs had 61 total tackles last year. Did not force a fumble. Did recover a fumble, though. And 0 picks on the night for the linebacker returning to OU from OU. Special teams. This one, not the transfer that we're talking about. He's coming up net. There is no transfer on this side, though. Special teams, there is no transfer. The leading punter last year is sort of a transfer. He transferred in before from Arizona State, but he's been in Oklahoma the last couple of years, including a year last year to where 31 Michael Turk had 35 total punts last year to average 51.2 and average 2 punts inside the 20-yard line, 17 touchbacks, and a long-distance punt of 85 yards in the Cotton Bowl, by the way, against the much-hated Texas Longhorns. Finally, the regular kicker, more than likely, that's going to be Zach Schmidt. He's kicked before. He's 1 for 1 for 100% from 46 yards out, and that's his only attempt from field goals for the Sooners of Oklahoma. All right, guys, that'll wrap this thing up, and we'll ship it off to produce. Coming up next week, we will have a UTEPOU preview. Really looking forward to that. Regular season, get it kicked off right away for college, and it's a great test for Oklahoma right out the gate with UTEP, a bowl team from last year, I need to say. Alright guys, till then, you guys know me, I'm Harry James. You can catch this and all my other videos on the YouTube, Boomer Sooner 1982, and on Facebook, Harry James Taylor, or on the Twitter handle at HypeManHarry. Alright guys, that'll wrap this thing up, and Boomer Sooner everybody. I'm out of here. Peace.